right, race fans, welcome to live here. Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. And sorry about the late start here, but was trying to get some of these paint issues, man, collected, because I know a lot of these guys, man, they love the paint jobs. Got some of them out there showing up and fixed up, and some of them still going to show in the Midnight Express Blacks. But guess what? Qualifying over with, and we are starting the grid here tonight. Las Vegas. Oh, excuse me. Actually, we're in qualifying now. My bad.
Yeah.
That was practice. Well, I thought we was running behind, but we're not. Good deal. Well,
just now going to qualify.
Good, absolutely. So maybe it'll give a few more times if any of the painters are out there. I've talked and I've spoke with, especially Dan down there, Denayer, who actually does a lot of paint jobs. Just spoke with Rick Solomon, and he actually went and pulled off from one of the well-known painters off of Trading Paints, and his is showing up. Tommy Ryan's and all those are. So I know like guys like Justin Fuller, Anthony DeBarros and all are not, so I don't know who made their paints, but get up with those guys, man. I definitely want to show off many sponsors, unless you just enjoy the black cars. But either way, man, Don, it's chase time. 16 drivers tonight. Boy, we kick this thing off. Playoffs here.
Yeah, we're starting the first round of the chase here in Vegas for the Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. Yeah, it's going to be the first round here, first round of 3 races before we eliminate a few drivers. So some guys right now got that sigh of relief. They don't have to worry about things too much, but we're still going to have a good race here. This is going to be a very hot, slick track tonight. It's going to be really, really hard to hold on to these cars.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing about, well, actually in the real race it kind of was hot and slick out there, not the best conditions in the world. So got a little mimicking here tonight as we're watching these guys storm around. Got about 8 minutes here in qualifying. Let them watch these cars blast around, show off some of the awesome things. I usually say show off some of the awesome paint jobs, but, well, again, some of them are going to be awesomely black, and some are going to be awesomely looking good. So there you go.
That's right. That's okay. You know, these guys will get those paint schemes figured out and be able to see some of them. But right now, we got Scott Simley on the top of the board right now. I don't know if he'll stay up there. We still got a lot of guys left to qualify.
We do. These boys, man, are putting on a good one so far.
Yeah, definitely so far. I mean, like I said, I usually try to talk to a few of the drivers before the race starts, and man, just overdriving the car seems to be a big concern with a lot of the drivers out here as far as how much these tires are going to wear off on these long runs. Like I said, this track is pretty brutal. It can be pretty brutal on tires. Tend to have some long green flag runs, but we'll have to see where that goes. You know, after about 15 laps, these tires are going to be pretty worn down, so we should see some pretty tight racing and some guys really trying to hang on to the race car and keep that thing underneath them, especially off these corners.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, what's showing Doug Roth in? Looks like he's in a Cartoon Network car.
Let me see. I think he is, actually. I think I saw one of his paint schemes.
It's a nice looking.
Is it the pink one?
Yeah, it looks like a pinkish one, but it looks nice. I like that.
Yeah, that's the.
But we know Hippie's paint shop showing up, right?
Yeah,
he's got it. He's got it going on there. So, again, drivers, man. Don't know. I mean, I'm trying to go out of my way here for these guys. You know, I really am. You know, I want their stuff showing up.
That is a pretty neat paint scheme. I think I saw that one posted on Hippie Paint Shop's Facebook page, matter of fact. So, yeah, they got a lot of
Cadell's is not showing up either, so. Yeah. He's going to have to resave his. Maybe you can go down there and tell him, hey, go save that mug in 24-bit right fast.
I doubt he'll get it done before the race.
He's got 6 minutes.
He's broadcasting on his Twitch, too, so.
Oh, well, we don't really care about that. Let him drink a beer and get on it.
I don't have to tell him to drink a beer, trust me. I'm pretty sure he already is.
Oh, man. Well, right now, Scott Simley, the man on top. And he just knocked Anthony DeBarro off the qualifying pole. Well, I tell you, 16 drivers tonight. They're about to do battle on this track. it was interesting to watch as it came down to the wire last week in Indianapolis, and tonight we start the chase. That journey to crown a champion here, and Las Vegas is the first one. So, what do you think? I mean,
well,
who's your favorites?
Well, I'm obviously always a favorite of mine is going to be Nicholas Cohan. It's good to see him back. He missed last week, had some family issues, but he's definitely back here for this first race of the chase. It's good to see him, and I mean, he's definitely one of the front runners. I mean, he's the points leader. He's got the most wins of the season. He just basically has to keep doing what he's doing, and he might be able to get this thing wrapped up. But you got guys like Chad Cole back there. We always call him Mr. Consistency. You got Jose Gonzalez, Anthony DeBarro. You talked about it earlier. Jonathan Goodell, Thomas George. I mean, there's a lot of fast guys in this top 16 that they have to really worry about. I mean, even Nick Thames, Mr. 9-time down there at the very bottom of the 16 car field, or top 16. But he fought his way to get into that top 16. So he's got something to prove too. So I don't know, man. I think it's kind of early to make a pick yet.
It is. I mean, this is the first race. Obviously, if they go off the same. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I know they didn't do this in the regular season, but do they do it in the chase? If you win, you're in the next series, or they still go off the points? I need to go back and look at how the rule book was.
I know they change it on the different series in here in Sim500. I don't think it goes all the way across the board. I'm pretty sure in Monday night that if you win, you're in. And then whoever, obviously gets eliminated from the last few spots as we narrow down this last 16. Basically, that's important. You win, you're in. You automatically get in there. So,
I know in the regular season. I know in the regular season, it wasn't that way. You had to go off points, which is what I like. I like that a lot better than, if you win a race, you're already in there. To me, I think it just gives a better, more excitement, but because it pushes the guys to still race. But that's just me.
Yeah,
I'm looking on the website right now. I'm gonna find out.
I could be mistaken as far as that, win and you're in kind of thing. But I definitely see what you're saying. Yeah, because if a guy wins a race, you could be like, hey, I'm locked in. But he's still fighting for that championship. But yeah, like you said, it's going to be definitely a tight battle between these guys. I mean, these guys are the top 16 here, are just all really fast. Every one of these guys has got a lot of talent. I mean, I know there's not a whole lot of wins in the top, spread across the whole top 16. You got Nick Cohan's got 5 wins across the season, Anthony DeBarro 3, Chad Cole 2, Mitch Rollo 2, and Jose Gonzalez with 1 win. Everybody else in the top 16 is pretty much winless. So that's another thing to look for. Who's going to dominate with these wins here in these final rounds of racing?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm reading right now just to kind of see how they're doing the bonus points. Now, the bonus points throughout the season only shows for tonight, the first race of the chase. Any bonus points earned tonight go to the second round. So
yes,
you can't carry them over. You can't do anything like that.
Yeah, they just carry on to the next round. Exactly. That's for the bonus points, halfway bonus, things like that.
Right. Yeah. Reading that, and
top 10 at the halfway marker. Like always, we remind the fans out there, the top 10 at halfway on the field, they receive bonus points. First place at halfway will get 10 bonus points. Second place will get 9, and so on all the way down to 10th place getting 1 bonus point. And like Joe says, those carry on to the second round of the playoffs here. So those points will matter, but they just won't matter right for these 3 races coming up for this round.
Yeah. Just reading through some of this. A lot of info out here on it. Folks, you can go to sim500.com, check it out also. That's basically where I'm at here. Like you just said, like we was talking about the bonus points, the playoff bonus points. As we got about 50 seconds left here before we gear it up, but 1 playoff point for each stage win, 3 points for a race win. Drivers will have the regular season playoff points only count towards the first round. So after that, only playoff points earned in the first chase round will carry to the second round. So pretty much everything you did in the regular season accounts for tonight as we start the chase here, and then after tonight, it's pretty much what you do from here on. So that kind of tells me no, even if you win the race, it's all points driven.
Yeah, you still get bonus points for the wins. That's nice, though.
Yes, I like that, me personally, but you know, some drivers like that. I'll win and I'm into the next series, but I like the fact you just have to race and get those bonus points and try to get there. But looks like Scott Simley's going to start this thing off right here, as he's going to be right out there on pole. As let's grid them up here, as we're going to get racing here at Las Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays here in Vegas. As a man on pole, Scott Simley, call him Scott Smiley, and he is definitely smiling, sitting out front. Anthony DeBarro is going to be starting in second. Thomas George there in third. Trey Edson's going to sit in fourth place starting. Chad Cole starting fifth. Eric Arnold starting in sixth. Justin Fuller starting seventh. Nick Cohan, but eye on him tonight, starting in eighth. Ninth place starter Chad Coleman. And Jonathan Cadell rounds out the top 10 as we look through the rest of the field. I say it week in and week out. It's some bad, fast drivers and some bad, fast hot rods. About to do some awful bad, fast things here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, Scott Simley with the pole there, like you said. Anthony DeBarro, you know, he's seen him carry the speed all season. He's been really fast all year. And, you know, Thomas George there, Steel Horse Racing. He's sitting there. He's looking for a win. I know he's going to be fast here. Vegas, though, man, you guys got to take care of your tires. It's going to be real hard to do here. If we get long green flag runs, these guys are definitely going to be chasing these cars all night.
It is. You just talked about it. Slick track, tire wear come into play if we get some long green flag runs. We'll just have to see. Might play out again like it was before with, you know, Michigan earlier in the season, where that track was, you know, kind of treacherous on the tires and treacherous on what it was doing out there. But, well, these boys, man, they're getting geared up here. And I know Scott Simley, man, what a run there to put this thing on pole for him tonight.
Oh, yeah, he put down one heck of a lap there. Just blistering times. I mean, these guys, you know, when it comes down to this race tonight, I think it's just going to be down to tire management, like we've been saying. It's going to be the guys that take care of their tires and the guys that, you know, maybe make those moves early on and then they'll come to regret it later on that tire run. So I honestly think this is going to be more of a tire management race.
So far, so good. So we're getting this thing gridded up here. Man, feel that excitement. We're going to crown us the champ before this thing is over with. And got some big time money up for grabs here. That's why we call it the Monday Night Money Series, presented by Transervice.
Yeah, these guys are definitely looking to get that trophy, trying to get that money, and definitely trying to get the recognition of being the series champion.
They're rolling off here so far. Man, some nice looking machines out there about to do battle here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, we were talking about fast and slick here. I mean, we got you know, the ambient temperature outside is 78 for this race, but you know, you got a track temperature of 106, and that's just going to creep up the more this race goes on, the more they lay some rubber down. It's just going to get more and more slick as the race goes on. So, well, I think, you know, like I said, you're going to get long green flag runs, I think, but you're going to see a lot of guys trying to chase these cars.
Absolutely. As pace cars pulling them around, we're getting set to go. Green flag racing here tonight. Going to be a good one here. It's a good field. A lot of drivers out here about to do some battling on this awesome track. As pace cars pulling them around, we're getting set to go green flag racing here tonight. Pace cars coming out of turn 4. Buckle them up, gentlemen. As it comes out of turn 4, it's going to duck off on pit road and let these guys do battle up there. Scott Simley, he's going to bring them to the line here for the charge. Pace cars in. We're racing here at Vegas. Guys, first race of the chase, Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. We're off and running to the races here as they head off into turn 1.
Yeah, he got a great start there. You can see he's got a good 3-4 car lengths in second place as they go through turn 1 and 2. Guys are going to try to figure out high line, low line, where we've got to be as they power down the back stretch.
They do power down the back stretch side by side. You still got a lot of guys behind him back there. Anthony DeBarro, Thomas George in the mix. Got Eric Arnold, Chad Cole. Oh, my old Chad Cole sticking his nose up there early.
Chad Cole, usually not a guy you see to be a little bit too aggressive. Maybe at the end of the run he might be aggressive, but he's usually very conservative at the beginning of the run. That's why we call him Mr. Consistency. He might be trying to change his play a little bit tonight.
Absolutely. Battle for the lead. We got a lead change. Anthony DeMauro puts it out front. Scott Simley back in the second. Trey Edson right there in third. Thomas George, well, he's got his hands full right now with Chad Cole.
Yeah, Chad Cole looking on the inside of him right there. Chad knows early on in this tire run he can make that low side work. He's got to do it now. He knows he can make those moves, so he's going to do it now. They're still running side by side as they go through turn one.
All right, here we go. These guys, man, looking good so far. Now, with the tire wear early and everything like it is, try to get what you can get, because after a while with a slick track, you're not going to be able to get so much.
Yeah, we talked about it before in other races. When you get these D-shaped ovals, California is another track that this happens at. A little more the way your tires get worn, you can't really put the power down when you come off the corners. So you got to really drive like that gas pedal has an egg underneath it, is what we say. You just want to be really, really kind of easy when you make those movements on the throttle here.
Yes, we are. Right now, some good battling going on. John Cadell's hanging on the 9th place. Chad Coleman right there behind him. Corbin Hemstreet making some moves. You got the 32 there of Shane Ewing. Let me make sure I sound his name right this time, because for some reason when I look at it real quick, I want to still say Sean, but it's Shane.
Mistake I make every now and then too. But yeah, he's powering right there with Corbin Hemstreet. Nelson Rivera's back there. They're all 2x2 right there. Those guys going through turns 1 and 2. Just jockeying for positions.
Absolutely. Side by side coming out of the turn. Jose Gonzalez, Nick Timms right there behind him. That's a slew of cars, but Chad Cole's going to get the better as they head off into turn 3.
Yeah, right there. And you got I saw the 24 car. He kind of fell back a little bit early in the race. I noticed he's right there with those guys. I think he might have had a little bit of issues early on, but he seems to get them sorted out now. As those guys, you see a lot of those guys kind of hitting that apron in the tri-oval. Sometimes you can do that early on a tire run. It's a little sketchy down there later on in the run, though. You might get a little loose. Sometimes hard to find grip down there.
You know, and the thing about this track too is, even it might be a 1.5 mile, well, you carry a lot of speed here.
Yeah, you do carry a lot of speed, and these cars that speed tends to make you a pushy loose, what they call going through the corners, is where maybe about in the center of the corner you'll be really pushy. And the thing about carrying so much speed through the corners, that wall will come up on you really quick when these cars get pushy.
All right, now we got some good jockeying battling going on back here for about the 10th on back spot. Watching these guys just mix it up here, nose to tail and side by side.
Yeah, Chad Coleman, Corbin Hemstreet, Shane Ewing, Nelson Rivera, all those guys back there. Looks like Jonathan Cadell's getting in that mix a little bit there with Chad Coleman.
Yes, he is, and he's going to go side by side there. That's Chad Coleman up underneath him as they come to the line. Going to be almost mere inches there with a drag race between those two as they head off into turn 1. Looks like Chad Cole is going to try that inside. He might get the groove, but he's got Corbin Hemstreet on his back deck lid also.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to do that slide job in front of Cadell, which he looks like he pulls off, but those guys behind Cadell, they're just coming up right up on him. They just see those positions. They know that they can get that grip on the low side, and they know we're only on the 8th lap, so they still have that grip, and they still have that opportunity to get that power down coming out of the corners, and some of those guys are taking advantage of it now.
Man, I tell you, almost 200 mile an hour before they hit off into turn 1. Well, that's some bad, fast speed here tonight.
That's right. No restricted plates here, no out of bounds here. You'll see those guys go below the line. They'll go down on the apron. They'll do whatever they have to do to make those passes. And like you said, they carry it. Tons of speed coming through these corners.
Yeah, like I said, we just watched right there. John Cadell almost hit about 199 mile an hour on the front stretch. Now, the back stretch not quite as long as the front stretch here. As you're going to see him, they're coming down again here. Let's see if he cracks the 200 mark. He did that time. Wow.
For just a second, he cracked 200 miles an hour. I saw that. That is a lot of speed to be carrying through a D-shaped oval here on the front stretch. Just going through turn 1, and you got those 2 hungry guys behind you doing the same.
Man, yeah, and that's just like you just said, man, a lot of power. Well, back up front, Anthony DeBarro's in control of this one, about a half second with Scott Simley there in second. Trey Edson right there on his back deck lid in third. Chad Cole, up there in fourth. Thomas George. So everybody's kind of still single file. They're all right there, so if anybody makes a mistake, they can jump on it.
Yeah, I mean, Scott Simley took us to green, but Anthony DeMauro made his presence known really quickly. He said, I want to go to the front. I want that clean air. And he did it quick, and he's just trying to stretch his lead out there. We've seen Anthony do it before. We've seen him try to keep up the pace when he's out front, and it looks like we might have a repeat of that early on so far.
Absolutely. Chad Cole's looking good. Is just peeking on the inside there of the 10 of Treyette's. And Chad's one of those guys we always know is kind of just really consistent, sits back. But it's chase time, and this was interesting. It's what we wanted to see. Is he going to turn the wick up here tonight?
Yeah, it is interesting to see this side of Chad Cole. We usually, like I said, we usually see a kind of more conservative approach. He kind of just, you know, make sure he stays where he has to be, puts his car in the right position at the right time during the race so he can be there at the end. Doesn't usually make those aggressive moves. You won't see him do things that maybe, you know, untimely moves or whatever. But here, he's making his presence known. He's going through the field here. He wants to be up front. He wants to make his presence known early on in this chase.
Absolutely he does, because you got Nick Cohan sitting right back there in 6th place spot. So, you know, we know he came in here as a points leader coming in. So, you know, he definitely wants to capitalize coming out of this race the best he can.
Definitely. And he's, right now he's kind of nipping on Thomas J. George's heels there. Looks like he's going to try to get on the inside of him going into turn 1. He's definitely got the momentum, but he's also got some other cars coming up behind him too, so he's got to watch out for them. I think these guys right now, they're just kind of figure out their tire management and their kind of strategy on how they want to play the fuel runs here.
Well, from my understanding, from looking at the points right, you got Nicholas Cohan, Anthony Navarro, Chad Cole, Mitch Rollo, and Jose Gonzalez. Is that right?
That's correct, because the points all reset pretty much for the first race of the chase.
Okay, good deal. Well, Anthony Navarro obviously out front controlling this one. Chad Cole's trying to keep him in his sights, and so is Nick Cohan there. And Jose not doing so well here right now, but he's got a long way to go. He's in 13th place right now, but Anthony Navarro, man, is out front.
Yeah, Anthony Navarro is making his presence known. He's dominating so far. I mean, I know we're, you know, only 15 laps in, but I mean, this is you know, something to show. I mean, if he's this fast right now, early on in the run, early in the tire run, we'll be able to see if he can carry that speed longer into the tire run after these tires go through a heat cycle and they get a little bit more worn. You know, these guys are going to change their lines. You're going to see more drivers choosing the top high line, kind of staying away from that low line a little bit, trying to stay above that bottom seam really.
Real quick, not to kind of, you know, won't really elaborate on it, but I got word this past week. There's one driver that wasn't here last week, is not here tonight, but a change in the top 16, and you know, we had an awesome battle for that 16th spot last week coming into this race, starting the chase. Chris Jabou was outside looking in. He missed the chase because obviously Jonathan Goodell got that last spot, 16th spot. But Malik Ray is on an indefinite suspension due to some technicalities and some technical stuff happening. So guess what? It disqualified him out of the chase. Unfortunate set of circumstances there, and Chris Jabou was able to jump into the chase. So that number 4 machine, he just got him an opportunity here to maybe try to get up here and win a championship. Yeah,
I mean, you know, the one driver's unfortunate circumstance kind of, you know, helps out Chris Jabou there. He gets in the points and he has a chance to put himself in the championship here. You know, like you said, he was just a little bit short. We got a caution on track.
Oh, and that looks like Justin Fuller.
Yeah.
If I can get to him. There we go. Go back here and see what happened.
Fuller
yeah.
And, Eric Arnold, I think.
Yeah, Justin Fuller just caught the apron going into turn 4. It looks like he was looking on the inside of Nick Cohan. That car just caught the apron, upset a little bit. Eric Arnold nowhere to go, but I tell you what, that could have been a lot worse than what it was, because they spun right in front of the whole entire field.
They really did. Just those 2 cars involved, it looks like. But that could have been a lot worse than it was. Yeah, it looks like maybe he was just trying to fight underneath Cohan there, trying to get that position. Didn't want to tap Cohan. They were kind of in the corner there, really tight racing. He hit that apron just a little bit, and the car just got free. And yeah, just unfortunate circumstance.
Hopped the turn there just a little. That's what it looked like, and I hate to see that on his end. As everybody's going to come on pit road, why not get your 4 tires and fuel? Folks, we're in the middle of a chase. Anthony Navarro right now, he would love to come out of here with some points. Obviously, keep your eye open for halfway, which would be lap 62. Was going to put us halfway because the top 10 well, they're still going to get bonus points. But what it does is the bonus points, it's not like in the regular season where they accumulate. It's just carried over to the next round for the driver.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they want, Anthony, he wants to make his presence known. He could pull off a win here in the first race of the playoffs. That would definitely open some eyes, we got early on. We got pit stops right now. Anything can happen. Somebody could miss their pit stall speed. Anything can happen on pit road right now.
Yes, it could. It's Dan Denayer showing him up front right now. I don't think he made a pit stop, did he? Well, showing he did.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I guess he did.
Yeah. Another one there, and talked to Dan beforehand. Not 100% sure about the story on the suspension there, yeah, Tyson, but I don't get into the politics side of things. I just know that there was a suspension, and like we say, one misfortune from one driver is a blessing to another. And yeah. Chris Jabou, man, he was right there, just tried everything he could, and hey,
and he definitely earned the spot too. I mean, nothing to take anything away from Chris Jabou. He raced hard all season. He definitely earned the spot. By no means was it handed to him. He definitely earned getting into the position there. So it's just the way things worked out.
Yeah, and and Chris is going to try to capitalize the best he can. He fought hard last week here to do what he could, and he's fought all season long, so not bad. Good deal on his end. As we've got 36 machines out here. Looks like Nick Solomon didn't make the field for some reason, or he's 5 laps down for some reason.
Oh, he's 5 laps down. I don't know if he had an issue early on or didn't notice.
Well, I talked to him before the race, and he was fine.
Sometimes guys can have self-spins, and we don't catch it because necessarily it brings out a caution if it happens further back in the field. So, but Anthony DeBarro, looked like he got out front, got out of the pits.
Yeah, those other two, they didn't make their pit stop that bad. They were out there. I guess maybe trying to get some laps, because I'm not sure leading laps here does give bonus points.
It does.
But okay.
You're not in the chase. I mean,
don't matter. But here's the thing. If I'm not mistaken, I haven't really talked to Joey and them here, and maybe I will confirm this, or if you know, Don. Out of the top 16, I'm not sure if there's anything that these guys are racing for. Sometimes when they'll give an incentive. Okay, the first guy out of the top 16, gets something. I haven't really talked to him about that. Obviously, we know the top 16 drivers here. They're racing for. I think it's, again, not 100%, pretty much, but like 95, 96%, unless it's changed over the season. They're racing for about like $900 or something like that.
Wow, yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what the cash prize was, but I do know that these guys are up for a lot of money. Every one of these guys that races in here, they take it seriously. They paid to be in this series also. It's an invite, pay. You have to, show your way, but these guys put the money on the line here, so it's not just it's not. They don't just let anybody race in the Monday Night Money series.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Well, good one so far. Has Anthony DeBarro. He is out front. Lights off on the pace car. About set to go back green flag racing here. Scott Simley. And like you just said, I mean, that's why they call it the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. There is a lot of money here for the champion. And these guys enjoy that as we're getting geared up here. The season's coming to an end, but we still got a champion here to crown. Pace car's in. Anthony's going to drop that hammer. He does. And he gets a good jump out front as the field behind him stacks up 2 by 2.
Yeah, he didn't waste any time. As soon as that pace car came off the track, he was gone. And he's powering into turn 1, and those guys behind him 2 by 2. So, yeah, he's trying to get to that clean air.
Man, and you just said it. Well, we said it earlier. Chad Cole has turned the wick up here. This is a side we haven't seen. We got spin. Who we got?
Somebody going down the inside on the backstretch. Let's see who it was.
I see. Oh, yes, way back there. Oh, Nelson Rivera.
Nelson Rivera,
and
yeah.
No caution. See, and there's what we was talking about. But let's go back on the replay and see what happened to him here. Let the viewers actually see. It looks like just self spin, come out of turn 2, caught the wall, went all the way down on the inside, And here's the thing, this is one of these tracks where it's got far enough runoff. If they get going again, iRacing will not throw that caution.
No, unless it blocks the track or there's multiple cars, sometimes the caution just won't come out. So it's an unfortunate event for him, but it's just the kind of way it works sometimes.
Absolutely. Chad Cole, I'm going to tell you what, we have been all season long, he has taken the high road and been very cautious. Tonight, though, he said, forget about it. It's chase time, and I'm showing what I got. He is sitting in second place and is going to turn up the heat on Anthony Navarro up front if he possibly can.
Chad Cole's a sleeper tonight, maybe, man. He's the guy that definitely is just usually conservative run, but he's not playing any games tonight. He's definitely not pulling punches. He's going for that lead. He's really trying real hard. He's up in second place. We usually don't see him running up front this early. Usually he's, like you said, conservative, kind of goes back. And we got Nick Cohan. He just pulled up in the fourth position, so we got to look out for him too.
Yeah, Nick Cohan right there in fourth place, so you got a lot of your top guys right there. Nick Timms in the ninth place spot. He's working over Chad Coleman and Sean Castro right there at those spots. Good race going on. Here comes the 59 of Sean as he's trying to turn it up. He's looking on the outside there, Mike Kelly.
Yeah, those guys are definitely turning up the wick there. Like we talked about before the beginning of the race, Nick Thames, he's the last guy that, actually he's the last guy right now in the top 16. So he's trying to, bump his way up a little bit. He's got a couple more races before they start eliminating drivers out of the playoffs. But, still wants to try to get up there. And so far, he's having a great run so far in the top 10 here.
Well, I haven't seen this car in a little bit, man. In a couple of weeks he's been off here. Brian Boris Cook, he's up to 12th right now, working over Jonathan Candell in the 11th spot. Jose Gonzalez right there in 13th, though. But Brian looking good here tonight in the 12th place spot.
Yeah, we haven't talked about it much tonight. He's definitely turning up the wick there on Jonathan Candell, getting right behind him there going into turn 1 and 2. Yeah, he's looking really good tonight too. He started in the 22nd position. He's up to 12th, so he's gained quite a few positions.
Yeah, no doubt about it. E.J. O'Rourke's another one who was moving on up. Started 18th, sitting up in the 14th place spot. Keep an eye on him. Didn't have the race last week that he really probably wanted, but tonight, not looking too bad. Glenn Campbell, Doug Roth and company back there. And again, always got to look at Doug Roth as, actually, I think, let's see what. Actually, I'm showing Doug in the Burt Reynolds car again.
He could be. Actually, I got to look at his car.
Yeah, check it out and see which one he is. Looks like he's back in that.
That's what I'm looking at. I've seen him in the same one. Yeah,
okay.
Same one. That same Bandit car from last week.
Okay. Yeah, nice looking machine out there. And that's what I say. I always got to look at those hippie paint shop cars out there. And he's got Mitch Rollo on the inside of him, working him over, and Corbin Hemstreet. Now, Corbin Hemstreet was up front earlier. I don't know if he had a bad pit stop or not. I'm trying to look at his pit time. Didn't look like he was off pace.
Yeah, I don't know if he got off pace. He might have had a bad pit stop, but I'm looking towards up front again. It looks like that lead of Anthony Navarro's is getting whittled down just a little bit there by Chad Cole.
Chad Cole, man, is, like you just said, the sleeper here tonight, I think. And again, don't want to talk about him too much because end up jinxing him as always. But man, he is working over Anthony Navarro, and that's just something we haven't seen. Well, this is an aggressive side of Chad Cole. We've always seen the conservative side of him.
Yeah, definitely. He's chomping away at that lead right now. He's definitely getting him some. I like this. I like this Chad Cole, the aggressive. Hey, I want to be there. I want to get the lead. I want to lead early. I like this part of Chad Cole. We see the good race for third and fourth back there with Scott Simley and Nick Cohan. Yeah,
Nick Cohan knows he better turn it up too, and he's thinking because he's looking up there like, man, those are two chase contenders up there racing it out. They're about to get all the points that they possibly can. If I'm going to stay in the mix here, I'm surprised by Chad, and obviously making the title sponsor happy too because he runs the colors of the Transervice out there.
That's right. Some extra motivation there is Nick Cohan. He got that third position, got by Scott there. But yeah, Chad's definitely showing those Transervice colors on that 82 machine, and a little motivation there to try to get a win for the title sponsor.
Absolutely. He's got Anthony Navarro a little bit worried right now as he's got to look in his rearview mirror and go, where in the world did the 82 machine come from? Nick Cohan's up in third, Scott Simley back to fourth, Thomas George up to the fifth place spot. Everybody's kind of, I don't want to say nose to tail, but they're right there on each other to where if somebody makes a slip up, they can capitalize on it.
Capitalize on it, be right there, man. Yeah, now Chad Cole, I mean, you know, he's been battling up there with Andy DeBarro. We hope he didn't wear his tires out too much. Like we were saying, tire management's a big deal here because Nick Cohan, he got by that 4th place spot. Now he's looking out the window up there at Chad Cole.
And like I said, he doesn't want to let those guys get too far ahead.
No.
I mean, that's something he doesn't want to happen. He wants to keep them as close as he possibly can. You know, doesn't want them to get up there and have their own race battling it out.
Nah, he doesn't want them to get out of shot. Yeah, he wants to keep them within range so he can make a chance to capitalize on any mistakes they might make, or if they start overdriving or anything like that. You want to be close enough to be able to, you know, take advantage of those things.
Now, by the time this time next week, you know, I'll definitely have, you know, obviously who's going off into the, you know, second round here, or not really second round, but second race, and what the standings are in the chase and so forth. I got a feeling, though, a lot of those top runners there, you know, they've gotten a lot of bonus points. That's going to calculate. I looked on the website to see if it reset. I didn't see them reset. So, you know, even though Nick Cohan's sitting in 3rd, he might not be in too bad a shape due to the bonus points here tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see after this race how that calculates all out. You know, Nick Cohan, Dizzy Motorsports own, yeah, he's been dominant all year, but you know, with the way the playoffs go, you can have a bad race, and yeah, it might mess you up and put you down to the points a little bit. So just because somebody might be, like we said, just because Nick Cohan's leading, got those bonus points, you know, doesn't mean you are immune from having a bad race in these playoffs.
And with as many chase drivers there is, probably right now in the top 10, it is going to be a close one. If you get marred back real early on, that's going to be something to try to bring it up, because like I say, there is no, you know, fail-safe to fall back on, like, hey, win, I'm in the next part of it. No, you have to keep going and play consistency throughout the thing. But Chad Cole's definitely saying, you know what, hey, consistency is over with. I'm going to try to get up here and win this thing.
Yeah, definitely. And another, you know, you're talking about the chase contenders there in the top 10 there. Guy we haven't talked about really, Mike Kelly. He's running in 7th position. He started in 24th place. So, yeah, he's definitely built some momentum so far in these top 40, or, you know, beginning 40 laps of this race.
Well, Mike Kelly has turned it up here the last part, about the month or so. He's done an outstanding job. Kind of had a season, you know, it's roller coaster. There's many guys that have had that, but really has been able to prosper here lately. And like you said, sitting in 7th, and he's actually looking up underneath the 6th place man, Trey Edson.
Yeah, I mean, not only is he up in 7th, but I mean, he's not done. He wants some more spots there, so he's still fighting. You know, he's like, hey guys, I'm still here too.
Absolutely. Been out there for right now about 19, 20 laps. So we had to get out of a little bit because Trey's looking on the inside of Thomas George coming out of 4, and they got to get awful wiggly, and that's just what we were talking about. These guys are definitely getting awful wiggly. And hey, look at this, Nick Cohan's in trouble as he's got this packed. Yeah,
he pushed coming out of 4, as you were saying. I didn't want to cut you off there, Joe. He pushed coming out of 4 and had to gather the car up just a little bit, kept it on the low side. Those guys just kind of had the momentum, stayed up high, and yeah, you see what happened to Nick. Now he's battling this traffic.
You know what I'm starting to see? I watched a little bit of the ending of the Las Vegas race this past Sunday, and I saw some guys running, obviously, the high line, middle, and the low. We're already starting to see that, but it did look like that the middle and high line was the place to be coming off the turns.
We got 3 wide action here and 1 and 2 behind Nick Cohan. These guys aren't messing around. They definitely want those positions. As you were saying, though, yeah, the longer you'll see these tires wear, the more you will see. There's kind of that seam that's above, the first seam that's on the low side of the track. You can see it more in the corners. It's kind of where those guys are running the beginning of the runs. You see Mike Kelly's down there right now going through the corners. You'll see those guys start driving above that seam as their tires get more wore, just because it's just hard to keep the car down there below that seam when your tires get so wore out. You just punish that right front tire.
Yeah, right now these guys are punishing the back end of these cars. They are all over the place coming out of the turns, wicked loose. Mike Kelly's on the inside of the 10 of Trey Edson coming out of the turn here. They're going to go side by side. He's going to look over underneath of Nick Cohan coming out of 4. Nick's right there trying to hang on to it. Trey Edson, though, on the high side trying to hang on to that spot.
Yeah, you see Nick Cohan, he kind of went to the bottom there, trying to break the momentum a little bit of Mike Kelly. Mike's still got that momentum on the low side. He's making it work down there. You'll see Cohan bring his car down a little bit, trying to diamond that, or trying to arc that corner a little bit to get the momentum on the high side. It brings him in front of Kelly a little bit, but Mike Kelly is still battling there on the inside. Oh, and he almost gets through his bumper.
Yeah, right there, very close. Almost made contact with him. Had to check up maybe just a little bit. But Mike Kelly still on the back deck lid working over Nick Cohan. Nick might be like, trying to figure this track out. We're on a pretty good long green flag run. We're at lap 44 of 134 here. Chase time here tonight, folks. Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. First race of the chase here. Anthony DeBarro in control of it out front right now.
Yeah, he's dominating this race so far. Chad Cole, we talked about him. I think he's going to be the sleeper tonight. He's definitely been right on the heels of Anthony DeBarro, but it seems like his tires might have kind of gone away a little bit. It seems like pretty settled with where he's at. We were talking about this battle earlier with Mike Kelly and Nick Cohan. It's probably one of the best battles on the track right now. Mike Kelly is making that bottom line work. He's had his nose underneath Cohan a few times, but just can't seem to complete that pass.
Yeah, I watched, like I say, I was watching a real NASCAR race. Saw Martin Truex Jr. He was making a low line work there, and some guys were making that middle. Larson was making a high line, which that guy loves riding up there in the grandstand, anyways.
Yeah, NorCal's own Larson. I've seen him at Silverdar Speedway and Placerville back in the day, and he loves that high line. Definitely loves that high line. Brings it to the NASCAR track. He's definitely not afraid to run up there. You can see right now Scott Simley, he's kind of running that high line a little bit as opposed to Mike Kelly, Nick Cohan staying on that bottom.
Absolutely. Well, let me know how everything sounds, looks out there to you folks. Appreciate everybody tuning in. We're live here tonight at Las Vegas for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. First race of the chase. Anthony DeBarro is in control. Chad Cole, so that's two chase drivers right there out front. As we're watching another one here of Mike Kelly, Nick Cohan. So a lot of the chase drivers, well, they're not doing too bad here in the first race.
Top 5 drivers, we have 4 of them in the chase right there. I mean, that lets you know something right there. These guys are not messing around. Mike Kelly has been so impressive. He is just right now looking on Scott Simley. He got by Nick Cohan. That man started in 24th position, and now he's trying to crack that top 3.
Yes, he
Nick
is.
Cohan looks like he's making a pit stop.
And that kind of maybe might tell us when our pit stops was going to start up here. We're at lap 29. Got a feeling these guys are going to have to start doing it. You see Chad Coles, he's venturing up there to the high line a little bit. Mike Kelly still staying down low, but he takes that third place spot. I got a feeling we're going to start seeing some green flag stops from here on. I
do too. Usually when you see a guy, you know, your points leader just peeled off to make his pits, you're going to see a couple other guys going with him. I'm pretty sure of it. I didn't look like Nick had any kind of issues on the track. It looked like it was a planned pit stop. So just his strategy, the way he's going to go, we'll have to see if there's any other drivers that are going to follow him.
The only issue I was seeing is him just getting wicked loose and falling back a little bit. But a lot of these guys are, as you see, a lot of them now are starting to venture up to that high line.
That high line's the place to be. You got to be careful, though. You know, don't want to get too high, get sucked up into that wall. You do see the guys up front, though, still. Anthony DeBarro and Chad Cole. You'll kind of see in 3 and 4 what they're doing is they're entering the corner a little high. They diamond it down so they can kind of get close to that white line, be down at the bottom about halfway through the, between 3 and 4, and then they'll bring it back up close to the wall. It's usually the fastest way to get around this track when you get clean air and you don't have the guy next to you or anything. You can kind of diamond that corner a little bit and let the car kind of run itself down the track and bring itself back up with as little wheel movement as possible.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, Chad Cole still hold on to that second place spot. Mike Kelly's there in third, and he's closing in just a little bit on Chad Cole. Let's go back here and see what we got going on. Glenn Campbell back here, Doug Roth and company. Shane Ewing back there. Steve Goschalk. Haven't really talked a lot about him. Mr. Nerf Man himself, but he's back in 18th.
Yeah, it's kind of unusual for Mr. Nerf there, Steve Gottschalk. He started in 21st. He's in 18th. He made a few spots. Might be struggling with the setup. Looks like he might be battling a little bit, but usually we see him a little quicker. It's not the norm for him.
No, and he started off the season pretty good. But here lately, just not had the runs that he would like to have here in the Monday series. But, maybe tonight he can bounce back here and see what he's got.
Yeah, you know, Steve Gottschalk's had a rough year this year. He's got caught up in a lot of other people's messes, things that weren't of his own doing, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Kind of hurt his momentum a little bit. And yeah, I mean, you know, Steve's definitely a very fast racer. He just had some bad luck. That's all it is. So as you see, Nick Cohan fly right by him on those new tires because he just made that pit stop.
Yeah, new tires, man, definitely makes you feel like Superman. Justin Fuller, who spun earlier on, he's still in 21st position, trying to make some ground up.
He's battling, man. He had that wreck early on, kind of marred him back, got some damage. In 21st place, he's trying to recover, salvage what he can. I mean, he's still on the lead lap, so he's still got plenty of time.
Chris Jaboo back there in the 23rd spot. I was watching him try to move. He's got a nice looking tide ride he's got out there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Throw back to the old Darrell Waltrip days or something. Yeah, that's a nice car right there. I like that. Oh, Ricky Rudd. That's right. That's a Ricky Rudd team. Sorry, that's not a Darrell Waltrip.
Yeah, well, I don't think Darrell Waltrip ever ran it, but he might have. I know Ricky Rudd ran it back in the day. Really known for it. Darrell might have ran. I know he's more the Mountain Dew machine back then, but Darrell might have ran Tide at one time.
Back in the day, he ran it for a little bit.
I thought he might have. I know him mostly with Ricky Rudd doing it because I think he made it really. Yeah, he ran it for the longest, but it's bright. You can see it. Boy, if we was under the lights, he definitely would show up like a light bulb.
It's definitely a neon bright color, man. Definitely. If somebody says I didn't see him coming, then they were fibbing.
Absolutely. Well, he's going to see if he can't wash the field here. You know, like I say, circumstances got him into the chase here. He's going to try to do all he can to capitalize. Watching Corbin Hemstreet, who started actually up front. He actually started 14th. He's falling back to 25th. Not sure, man, what's going on in the 69 machine.
Did he make a pit stop? No, I don't think so. I don't know
not yet, he hasn't. And his last pit stop, you know, before, it wasn't a bad one. It was a 14-0 stop, so I'm not sure what caught him off guard. You know, we never know what might have happened here and there, but you know, either way, he's
got
back.
On pit road bad or
something. Yeah, Michael Priester there behind him. He's looking good. Scott Stencil, that's the guy, man, right there in 27th. Everybody don't know who Scott Stencil is. He drives in the truck series in real life. I apologize because I didn't know who he was for the longest time. I do now, but hey, you know, I mean, you know, come on, I can't remember everybody.
Know everybody.
Yeah, I can't know everybody. try to. Kind of embarrassing when you're sitting around and you go, well, who's that guy? And they're like, well, you don't know who that is? Come on now. Well, hey, I'll try.
Well, Donnie Leah just joined Sim500 here, Stu. We raced with him last night in the Xfinity Series, so yeah. Nice to see Open Wheeler there, Mr. Modified himself.
Oh yeah, no Donnie Leah. I actually did another series broadcast another series that he was in for a long time. So Donnie Leah, definitely, man, a good guy and whatnot. So definitely know who he is. I've been fortunate enough to be able to broadcast a lot of, you know, guys have been here and there. A lot of racers, especially on the dirt side of things, here on the oval side of stuff, and it's interesting to see some of these guys that come out and actually real drivers or associated with NASCAR in general. You know, that's the thing. Yeah, I like.
There's a lot of guys that work on some of the real race teams, you know, in all three series, top series, and they, you know, a lot of those guys race in some of these leagues and iRacing, and yeah, it's basically the sim community does flow over into the real racing community quite a bit.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, Chad Cole, he was off the back end of Anthony DeBarro. Now he's back up there putting pressure. And, man, they're working on 40 laps out here. So all these other guys doing short pits, not sure. But we got 2 laps. Here's what I'm thinking they're doing. They're waiting to the halfway point. Anthony DeBarro wants that halfways.
Yeah, he's got about 6 laps left. Halfway is going to be 67 laps here, this 134-lap race. And, yeah, that's probably what they're doing now. I don't think you'll see these guys in the top 10, especially the guys that are running for these points. I don't think you'll see any of them pit until after the halfway. Nick Cohan did. We did see him. He got his lap back. He is back on the lead lap. He is back on the lead lap. So, you know, if the yellow comes out, he'll be in a pretty good position there. He doesn't have to worry about being a lap down. He's in front of these leaders. So we'll have to see how that works out for him.
Yeah, right now showing him back here in 31st. I'm like you, though, at this point, in the game, the top 3 guys, obviously in the chase drivers right now, Anthony Navarro, Chad Cole, Mike Kelly. At this point, you've made your bed, you lay in it. You're definitely going to stay out for those bonus points. If you pit now, you know you're going to give up some bonus points. So why not try it? You really don't. And it seems like they're not the only one. I mean, pretty much most of the field, all the way back to 28th spot, that is, has yet to pit.
Yeah, they seem to be pretty content to run it out to what they're going to do. Like I said, doesn't seem like you got a whole lot of guys trying to do a different pit strategy. Nick Cohan's trying to do something different. But Anthony Navarro, Chad Cole, and, man, Mike Kelly. How impressive is this run for Mike Kelly? He is right on these guys. He's right on the leaders. He came from 24th. Worked his way up through here, and he's right here with the. I mean, you could put a blanket over these top 3.
And I'm gonna tell you what, don't say, man, that Chad Cole is holding anything back, because even on 43 lap old tires, he has given Anthony Navarro all he can muster out there on this track. Lap 63 of 134, folks. Lap 67 puts us at halfway, but Mike Kelly, like you just said, diving on the inside, he wants the second place spot.
Yeah, he's definitely looking on the inside, and I think Chad might have used his tires up just a little bit here at the end of the run, because Mike Kelly, our 3rd place finisher, looks like he got a little loose there. He saved it. He's down on the apron, almost came up into the wall at the start-finish line.
Man, good save by him. What a driving job. He holds on to it. It falls back. Yeah, it falls back to 4th. Wow, and that just goes to show you, because you're already seeing the top 2 guys. They are getting very, very wiggly. I mean, they've got some evil handling cars right now, and rightfully so. They're out there on 44 lap old tires,
and people seem to, you think that in the tri-oval, in the front stretch, you think that would be an easy place to run the car, but you're still turning the wheel on that car while, like Joe was saying before, these guys were carrying speeds of almost 200 miles an hour going into turn 1. You're carrying a lot of speed in that front stretch to hold that car down there on the track, to steer it through the tri-oval with these worn tires. So, man, that was one heck of a save by Mike Kelly. That was great driving by him.
And only to lose one position out of it as Trey Edson takes over the 3rd place spot. That is awesome right there. So not really going to lose much. Didn't hit nothing. That was just a good driving.
That was incredible. And he knows he's going to be pitting here soon, so those tires aren't going to be too bad. We're only a couple of laps away from halfway.
Well, if you're a betting man, and we're in Vegas, and a lot of people love betting, I got a feeling at lap 68, you're going to see all those guys drop off on pit road.
Pit road is going to be a hornet's nest here, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple laps. As soon as we get those halfway bonus points, which is going to be coming up here very shortly, top 10 are going to get bonus points here. You're going to see pit road is going to be one heck of a busy place.
And Brian Boris-Cook right now owns the top spot in the 10th place right now, as E.J. O'Rourke, well, as I say that, E.J. O'Rourke just takes it over as Brian Boris-Cook gives it up and goes into the pits. Yep, so E.J.'s going to take that 10th place spot as we're on lap 67. Once they complete it, Anthony Navarro, he's out front. Will he hold on to it? And he'll actually get those, capitalize on the bonus points.
Yeah, Anthony Navarro get 10 bonus points there. Chad Cole's going to get 9. Trey Edson's going to get 8. And it goes all the way down to 10th place. He's going to get 1 bonus point. Those points mean a heck of a lot, man. It's what set these guys. It's what set the points for this playoff chase right now. Some of these guys that, they might have actually finished the regular season in maybe 14th, 15th, 13th place. Who knows? But they reset the points. So some of those guys, like we were talking about, Chris Jabou, he reset his points. Let's put the story into perspective here. Chris Jabou got that position because of the unfortunate incident with Malik's suspension, and he starts the points playoff in, 7th place. So Chris Jabou was looking at not even going to be in the points, and now he starts in the playoff reset of the points in 7th. Yep. So that tells you what those bonus points matter. Those bonus points matter.
They do, and it's awesome to see as I was a little wrong on lap 68. They're still out there.
They might be trying to run these tanks out.
Well, now it's showing me that maybe they're just trying to do it on one stop. As I say that, Anthony Navarro's on pit road. Chad Cole stays out. I'm thinking they're going to try to do one pit stop strategy here.
They might be trying to do that. Last night in the Xfinity race, we saw guys doing that. Here in Vegas, we saw some guys trying to do two. Yes, it definitely is. We saw some guys doing two stops, one stop. I mean, it's hard to hold onto this car on that far on the tires, but
Yeah,
Nick
they're not
Cohan,
gonna be able
he's
to
doing
do
a
it.
different. Nick Cohan's doing a different strategy, so we'll have to see how it works out for him. Thomas George pitting too.
Here's the thing. Even if he stays, I don't think he can still do it. It's 63. It's 64 laps, 63 laps, if my math is right, to the end. They're only been out there for 51, so Chad would have to run another 10 laps at least to make one more pit stop. Is he going to give up that kind of time on the track?
Yeah, see, I think that's why maybe Nick Cohan pitted early when he did, and we were kind of questioning that. Hey, Nick Cohan might be the genius after all this is said and done. We don't know, but we'll have to see how this works out. You know, one caution on the track can throw everything away, though.
Oh, that's true. And there's another thing you got to look at also. Caution later in the race, if he is doing the strategy he's doing, because he's going to give up a massive amount of time on the track here doing it, because he's going to have to run at least another 8 laps at the very minimum to put him out here running on a 60-lap stint to even think about taking it one more time or one pit stop to make it all the way. But a late caution in the race would just throw that whole scenario out the back door.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing you always got to worry about when you try to make the strategy to what you're going to do as far as when you're going to pit. You always got to worry about that. And you know, Chad Cole, he's got Trey Edson right now looking to pass him.
You know what? And it's not just Chad Cole. Normally we'd see one driver doing it, but you've got 16 other drivers out there on the same strategy as these guys are. So evidently they're fooling us up here, Don, and they can actually take these things for about 60, 63 laps or so.
You know, in the Xfinity race last night, I'm not really sure how long we were able to go in a fuel run. So I'm trying to see if, remember how far they can go here as Chad Cole loses that lead to Troy Edson there. I'm thinking that, man, I would imagine that they have to be able to make it. And that's the only reason why they got to be staying out. I mean, I'm not really sure.
Yeah, well, they're better than me to be able to even stay out on that old of tires and muscle these machines around this track, because that's pretty much what they're having to do with the tire wear like it is. Those things just are evil loose.
Yeah, and you can see some lap cars now unlapping themselves. They got fresh tires, so they're easily able to get around these leaders here.
And let's see actually where Anthony DeBarro is. He's still showing a lap down. He's actually coming up on the leader here to maybe try to get that lap back, so that'll put him back on the lead lap. Thing about it is like I say, oh man, Trey Edson almost lost it there. But I was saying here, Don, just to point out, they've been out there for 56 laps. We're at lap 76, 25 is 50, 14, so that's 64. 63. They're going to have to at least go another 6 laps or so. They got to at least go another 4. Yeah, another 4 or 5 laps to make it to the end.
Well, we got somebody going down pit road. Is that Trey? Looks like Trey Edson's hitting pit road right now, our leader.
Okay. Chad Cole still
stays
out.
I
think at this point, I could be wrong, but at this point, you've waited so long that your strategy is, I got to take this thing to maybe 61, 62 laps.
He's got to run it dry.
Yeah. He's got to
run it dry. He has to run it dry. He's coming in now. Yeah, he has to run it dry. He stayed out there for an extra lap longer than Trey. He has to run it dry here. It's the only reason why he could do that. Man, I don't know if he's going to have enough to make it to the end here. He's got it, right?
34. Let me calculate real quick.
Yeah, he's got to be able to make it here.
54. 50. I'm showing 54 laps to the end. Yeah, he could, as long as it goes green.
Yeah, definitely. He had a bad pit stop. It looked like he overshot his pit. I saw him back up just a little bit. He's still on pit road. This pit stop is taking way too long.
Yeah, it is. Watching him right here.
He's still on pit road. There he goes, just now being released by his pit crew. Look like he had a bad.
14-6.
Yeah, he overshot his pit, went a little bit too far in his box, and he had to back it up just a little bit, which really hurt him. When you make mistakes like that on pit road, it might only seem like a second, but 1 second on pit road can mean so many spots out on the track.
Mental mistakes, that's what we call them. Well, this thing's going to cycle around here to Nick Cohan. Now, Nick Cohan, obviously, he actually might be on to something here, as he's going to take the three pit stop strategy instead of the two. He's been out there for 30-something laps, about 32 laps. He's probably going to come into the pits. Now, he pitted last time at about 29, 30 laps in. We know they can go 57 laps because they just did it. Most of the field did.
He's looking up on that now, though. He's catching up on 57 soon.
And I think he's going to try to push it. And with him pushing it, that's going to put him in good position heading off into the end. With all these other guys, he's going to be on good tires.
Yes, he'll have fresher tires and he'll have enough fuel to make it to the end. Some of these guys might be a little close. They might have to save a little bit or something like that. But Nick Cohan's going to have fresher tires by the time he comes in. That is if we don't get the dreaded caution. We had the long green flag run here. We've only had one caution early on. I think it was around lap 20. So we've had some great racing here. And we'll have to see if this works out for Nick as we see Chad Cole diving below Nick right there.
So far, so good. Nick Cohan out front. He wants to get this thing, man, settled up. Anthony DeBarro pulls it back up in the second there. He's about 6 seconds behind Nick. He should be able to close that gap in pretty good because he's on a lot fresher tires. Mike Kelly's back up in the third, Mitch Rollo. And we just talk about Chad Cole. Now, he is still on the lead lap.
He just unlapped himself.
Yeah.
He just passed the leader.
And 19th.
So, yeah. So he's, you know, like I said, it all depends on how these if a caution comes out. If they go green to the end, it's going to be real interesting to see. Nick Cohan's got another pit stop he's going to have to make before the end. These guys that just came out of the pits, they're good to the end, but here when we come down on 120, 130 laps, these guys are going to be struggling with these tires. While Nick Cohan's going to have fresh tires, so this is going to be fun.
If I was Nick at this point, I know what the car do. I know how far I can go. I'd short pit it.
Might be a thing to do. That might be the thing to do because his car is going to, right now, he's on older tires and these guys are on fresher tires than him as of right now. So right now, they're running on the track faster than him. So if he short pits, gets new tires, he can get back out on the track, have those fresh tires. And yeah, I understand what you're saying there.
And have the time. Says nothing. The longer he waits, the more time man knocks off. And two, could get, even if he goes a lap down, he gets the first, be the first lap car. If a caution comes out, then he could get that lucky dog and wave around, whichever one you want to call it. And there again, puts him back on. And everybody's going to go in for tires then.
Definitely. They'll definitely go in for tires then. If we have a yellow, you'll definitely see everybody going for tires there. We got 3 wide here with Nick.
Yeah, Anthony DeBarro ran him down, which we kind of figured he would. Newer tires versus older tires right there. Anthony's going to take it back to the point out front. Nick's not going to put up too much of a fight. He understands the position he's in, and I think he's running kind of his own race out here. Point style racing is in. Jonathan Lockhart is the one who is in that cartoon car.
That car, yeah.
Yeah, and that thing was kind of cool.
Yeah, we were mistaken. I think we said Doug Ross.
I thought it was Doug, yeah.
Yeah, it's John Lockhart. I believe he gets that paint scheme from Hippie Paint Shop still. I've run against cool. I like that paint scheme. It's really nice. I've run it with John for quite a number of years, racing against him in the sim community.
Yeah, that thing is cool looking. I like that, man. I do nice too. Looking paint. I just got to give a shout out. Now, I'm going to take anything away from any other painters. I just know Hippie's paint shops out there. Raven Graphics, another one that comes to my mind. Again, I know I'm probably going to get yelled at now, every other painter in the world. What about me, Joe? Hey, look. Okay. Throw your name out there and I'll remember you. I just know those two right off the top of my head because they're real well known. And, well, we just know Doug Roth always has STP out there, and we followed it. But Raven Graphics obviously is a real well known painter out there in the community. They just do good work, and like I said, like I don't want to take away from anybody else that doesn't, but they do good work, and I like it. Obviously, the Doug Roth, we enjoy those STP ones, like that cartoon one, and there's many other ones out there. The Bandit one, yeah, there's many other ones out there.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, we got Anthony DeBarro. Yeah, Anthony DeBarro in the lead. Mike Kelly second. Nick Cohan man, I want to see how this. I'm thinking you're right. Nick Cohan, he really needs to short pit if he's going to not lose so much time to these guys, I would think.
At this point right now, he's been out for 40 laps. I know what he's thinking. Hey, those guys went 50-some laps out there. I can do it. He does not want to play that game here this time now. I would say probably here within the next couple laps, coming to pit, gets tires, that gives you about 40-some laps to get back to the front and utilize that time to get up there. And also, if there's a caution late, you don't get marred behind all these other lap cars, and then you've got to do a wave around, which then puts you off the pit cycle with everybody else.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, and I know what he's thinking too. You know, in the back of your head, you always think, oh, when you're kind of off sequence like this, I think he's going to be coming in. Kind of went down low. Looked like he might have been coming in, but maybe not. Anyway, what I was going to say is another thing. You know, he wants. I know he's thinking about is when I pit, a caution's going to come out. I know I'm going to be coming down pit road, and a caution's going to be coming out. You know, my teammate on Every Night But Tonight, Thomas J. George, we always laugh about that. Every time he tries to make some kind of pit strategy, every time he pits, we know that's when the caution comes out. And I know that's what Nick's thinking right now too. So
that'd be my luck. That's just how my luck can go on the racetrack.
Mine's the same way. But
I mean, that's just I can't get no luck. I mean, hey, look, I wouldn't even be up front anyways, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be able to get any luck.
You know, another driver we haven't really talked about, he's not in the chase, but Tommy Ryan. Man, right now he's in 8th place. He started 29th and he's in 8th place. He's had one heck of a run tonight too.
Yep, Tommy Ryan out there. He's got that 66 machine running pretty good. Like you said, the 8th place spot, Scott Simley's right there. Not right behind him, but, well, I'll say that. Yeah, he is. He's right up underneath him. Not bad. He kind of blended in with Jose's cars. Jose Gonzalez is right there along with him.
Yeah, he's had a heck of a run tonight. Tommy Ryan there, yeah, he said in the 66 ride, started 29th, and as of right now is in 8th. I think he's going to be in 9th now. Just lost that spot to Scott Simley. In danger of losing another one to Jose Gonzalez, but still having a great run tonight.
Yeah, I'm just looking here and kind of seeing Tommy's on a little bit older tires than they are. He's been out for 23 laps.
Yeah.
Scott and Jose been out there for 14, so about 6-7 laps difference. And it's a big, hey, a lot of people out there thinking, well, that's not a lot of laps there, Joe.
It is.
Hey, that is a lot of laps on this track with the conditions we're on.
Definitely. You know, I'm just poking through the field a little bit here. Randy Yoakum, he's had a good run tonight. 34th. He's running 17th in that number 8 car.
Let's see where he's at.
There's some guys that have had some pretty decent runs tonight, you know. Guys started back a little bit further in the field, battled their way up. It's been a good race tonight.
Yeah. Well, there's another one, too. I got to find him right quick because I was just joking.
Randy Yoakum is 8.
Yeah, he's there. There's another one out here. Let me find him. He's he was joking. Actually, never mind. He's out of the race. Well, I guess when I was joking,
that's why you can't find him.
Well, he was joking earlier because we were working on the paint job issue here, trying to get these things showing up. Dwight Beverly, DJ, in other words.
DJ Beverly.
And unfortunately, he's out of the race, and he was back there just cracking jokes. He goes, Joe, don't worry about my paint job showing up as black out there. It won't matter. I'm probably not going to finish the race. I'm going to hit the wall. Well, lo and behold, I'm out here trying to find him, and he's out the race. He's back in 34th.
He jinxed himself.
So I jinxed him, man. Dog, we haven't done our talking about. Hey, before even the race started, just gave him the thing. We got Nick Timms spinning on pit road, hitting the wall.
That. I see that. Oh, trying to get onto pit road and just, oh, what a bad break for Nick Timms, Mr. 9-time himself right there. You know, he got in those marbles. He got in those marbles. If you actually watch, when he entered pit road, he got below that white line. There's a lot of marbles down there late in the race. You know, I bet you he probably lost a lot of traction as soon as he stepped on those brakes.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, if you look behind it, I don't know if he's just having an awful time trying to get the thing back straight. But
yeah,
I'll tell you what, if you watch the spin there, Don, and then watch Doug Roth come into pit road. And that's telling me, as long as they've been out there with the tire wear like they are, that it's treacherous coming on pit road.
Yeah, like I said, if you look at the surface of the track getting on to pit road, below the white line, you'll see a bunch of black speckle and dirt and trash and all the marbles that's blown down there from the race. It just gets worse and worse as the race goes on. And man, you really want to avoid those. Just puts trash in your tires. Your tires are hot, sticky. You put all that trash on them, and then you get on the brakes getting on the pit road. Your car says, yeah, I'm not stopping.
Okay, Tyson out there and the bubble
Car
are saying
in the grass.
somebody missed a shift. Who are y'all talking about? You talking about DJ or you talking about Nick Timms? And who's in the grass mowing?
Somebody went in the grass right in front of our leader. It looked like it was the number 22 spun into the grass. No caution.
Yeah, and that's, again, well, man, I tell you what, that's twice for Nelson Rivera there. He's not having the night he wants, but let's see. A little tore up, but I ain't seen him go to.
Nick Cohan pit yet?
Not yet. That's,
wow.
I just really don't understand. I know what he's thinking now, caution, but man, you just can't take that gamble. You know you can't make it all the way. There's no way, and now you're going to give up a astronomical amount of time on the track.
Well, if caution comes out now, everybody's going to pit. Everybody's going to pit.
And so he'd be in good shape.
Yeah, and be in perfect shape. Everybody's going to be on equal footing. So, you know, his strategy, yeah, I question a little bit too. I kind of wish he would have pitted a little bit sooner. But then again, I'm not the man behind the wheel. I'm not the man that has won 5 races this season. And I'm not the one that's leading the points. So.
Me either. There you go. So it's easy for us to sit up here, man, and question some of the calls that these guys do.
Play Monday Night Money quarterback.
That's it. There you go. You know, obviously Anthony DeBarro, he is the man in control of this one. You've got Mike Kelly there in second. Those two have been out front for most of it. Trey Etzen right there in third. Nick Cohan's holding on the fourth now. He's got Jose Gonzalez right there in the 5th place spot. Just to give you perspective, it's about 2.5 seconds difference between them.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at Nick Cohan, not Nick Cohan, Jonathan Goodell back there too. He's had a pretty good run tonight, running in 7th, started in 10th. He's not in the chase, or is he in the chase? Yeah, he is. Yeah,
Jonathan Goodell in chase. Yeah, remember he got that.
That's right.
He got the 16th spot.
Yes,
and just held on to it last week, so he is in the chase. So he's going to come out of here again. I'm not going to talk about him too much now because I won't jinx him, but he's having a good run. And he's in the pits.
Ooh, he almost didn't get it well down.
That's a. I'm gonna tell you, it's treacherous coming in on that pit road here. Wow.
I'm gonna tell you, when you got guys like Nick Thames and Jonathan Goodell getting squirrely like that, getting on the pit road, that tells you something because these guys are class act sim racers, man. Jonathan Goodell, he's been doing it forever. Nick Thames, he's been doing it forever, and these guys are having a heck of a time getting these cars loaded up on pit road. Yeah.
That just tells you the conditions that they're dealing with out here also. Very, very slick style conditions out here. But Nick Cohan still, Anthony DeBarro came in.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know why he did.
Now my next question is Chad Cole going to come in the pit?
Yeah, I'm kind of interested why some of these guys are pitting. Maybe they think they're going to be a little short and they're pitting now. I'm not really sure. I thought Anthony DeBarro had enough to make it.
Yeah, he pitted. Well, he did pit a little bit. He pitted before Chad Cole.
So that's what I'm saying. Chad
he only pitted. Yeah, he pitted about 6 laps before Chad Cole. So that might be the reason being there. Chad Cole's the one I'm really looking at.
Me too.
As Nick Cohan's on pit road now. Again, we could sit here with 20 to go in this one. I mean, we could sit here and say, is this a good move? Is this a bad move? It's obviously going to put him a lap down.
Is he going to have enough time to get that lap back?
He's going to have enough time to get it back, yep.
And if a caution comes out, that's just he can pretty much call it a wash.
Unless he can be that lucky dog there and get around here. And, yes, folks, I still call it lucky dog. I don't care all the controversy around it. Yeah, they wave around or...
Lucky dog.
Whatever. I call it lucky dog. Man, I'm old school with a lot of it, so there you go.
It's always been the lucky dog to me.
Me too. And, you know, and I was reading the thing about it real quick. They were talking about how they're not dogs on the track. Well, no, but they're not horses either. And we say they got a lot of horsepower. I mean, but come on, man. I mean, jeez.
When you get lucky, you're like, hey, that lucky dog.
That's right, man. That lucky old dog. Man, come on. Yeah. It's just paraphrasing. It's a metaphor. I mean, man, people nowadays, I tell you what.
Nick Cohan, though, you're right. He's not the lucky dog right now. He is a lap down, but he is a couple spots behind from being the lucky dog. So he's in a really precarious position right now as far as if a caution comes out. And sometimes these guys race a little harder at the end of the race here. So,
okay, that's a good point. I just didn't think about Scott Simley. He's on the same strategy as Chad Cole.
He is.
And, you know, right now, Scott Simley's in that second place spot. Now, you could also put Trey Edson in there, too. He's only a lap different between those guys. So the top three right now, and I got to say, actually, you got to go all the way back to really about the top six right now. Because you got Chad Coleman, E.J. O'Rourke, and Steve Goschalk, all been out for 29, from anywhere from 30 to 27 laps on their tires, or 28 laps on their tires. Less than 20 to go here. All those guys can make it. Is Trey Edson going to push it? He's got a 3.7 second lead over Scott Simley. Let's look at the lap times. Last lap, Trey Edson ran a 32.294, and Scott Simley ran a 32.350. So Trey's not giving up too much time right now.
No, not too much right now. But like you were saying, you know, anything can happen with caution coming out or any little problems there. And you know, Nick Cohan, he's trying to get. I just think he should have pitted. Should have pitted way sooner.
Yeah, he's going to give up a lot. Obviously, Anthony DeBarro is giving up a tremendous amount. He's back at 26.
Well, Nick Cohen's going to get his lap back, it looks like, because, you know, he's definitely faster than those guys. It's only a matter of time before he catches Scott and Trey. He's already got past Chad, our third place guy, but I just don't see how he's going to have enough time to get all the way back around, because these guys have enough fuel to make it to the end. So,
well, we're working on it right now. 24 laps to go. I throw out here two things. Obviously, the last lap puts an end to it. Well, usually with 5 to go, if a caution does come out, that puts an end to it, and that's what Nick does not want. Even if he gets his lap back, he would definitely want. He would probably want a caution. Then that helps him out, but he wants it early. You know, nobody really wants a caution, but, you know, it would definitely benefit him.
Well, I mean, it just seems like Nick has put himself in a position where he has too many things that could possibly just make this not work out for him. It just, you know, I don't know. We'll have to see how it works out. You know, I just don't know. I'm trying to, you know, I'll be curious to talk to him after the race to kind of get an idea what his thinking was there, but
and a lot of these guys, I mean, and here's the thing we're going to probably see through it. With this chase being so close, like it is, and obviously he's working on some good, you know, he missed the bonus points. Now, that hurt earlier on because of his pit stop. He's probably kicking himself there, knowing that, man, I could have went the whole entire time with those guys up there, got bonus points, because he was running like in 4th or 5th place spot at the time.
Definitely.
Maybe he was thinking he was falling off pace too much or just losing too much ground. I don't know. Like I said, we're not behind the wheel of the car. We just come up here and watch what we see. But he gave up bonus points already to Anthony and all those. So he's already kind of in a hole. This right here is just not helping matters much.
Yeah, that's what it seems like to me. It seems like his pit strategy kind of put himself into a hole, and he kind of had to dig himself out in order to get a good position out of the end of the race, even if, you know, goes green to the end.
Well,
but
it won't be too
then
bad
again,
off here.
I'm not a 5-time winner, and I'm not the series points leader, so he's only one position away from getting the lucky dog.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, too. He's not bad off. I mean, we're making it sound like, man, he's just terrible. No, I mean, he's sitting in 16th. Sean Castro, he's right behind the leader. He's going to get on that lead lap. Sean Castro is right there, so he's probably going to get around him. He still could possibly jump back to, you know, a top 10. I'd have to see what the lap difference is between him and 10th place, and we'll know as soon as he actually just came around the leader. So let's see what.
So lucky dog's not a factor right now with him anymore, but
no.
Yeah, it's gonna. What's the lap times between him and the leader now? So, and does he have enough time?
Well, the lap time between him and the leader is only like a second and a half. Obviously, not enough. He needs about 3 seconds a lap to get around this track.
Caution right now.
He needs a caution. You're absolutely right. Now is when he'd want it. But what I'm curious to see is his gap between 10th. All right, 10th is 22 seconds behind the leader. And I'm trying to see when Nick comes across the line. It keeps blinking here. He's actually going to cross the line here. I'm kind of curious to see. He's crossing the line now. Give me a time. All right, he is 30.7 is what it's showing. 20. He's 8 seconds, roughly, give or take, about 8 seconds behind the 10th place of Shane Ewing. He's got enough time to catch them, so he might be able to still get back in the top 10.
Yeah, he might be able to salvage a top 10, but that's not going to be, that's not what he's looking for. I mean, I know Nick, and top 10 to him is a loss. He definitely wanted to at least come out of here with a top 5. So so far, you know, Trey's got the strategy, looking good. Scott, Chad, all 3 of those guys right now looking like they're actually knowing what they're doing right now, getting it done. Trey, strategy's working out for him.
We talked about this in the regular season. Nick Cohan, he did so well, and but coming into the chase, and we're already starting to see it. Mental mistakes, small things, and the competition level. We're already seeing what Chad Cole has done. I mean, a guy that throughout the whole entire season has just been dead on consistent, but came out here just a blistering pace early on and has maintained it throughout the race, and now he's sitting in 3rd. So he has changed up his game. Now Nick has to think about that. Okay, these guys, man, are okay. Now they're getting serious.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like Chad came into here more, you know, we talked about it before. Chad came into the playoffs with a more aggressive manner, especially in this race here. He's made moves that we don't normally see him make. He's tried to fight for positions when he probably normally would have just been, okay, I'm good here. I can just hang back for a little bit. And yeah, Nick didn't get those points at the halfway. They were handed it to him, and he just pitted before, stuck to that pit strategy. Pit strategy looks like it might not work out to the way he wanted to here at the end. And those are the kind of decisions here in the playoffs that you have, as a guy like Chad Cole, you have to capitalize on the mistakes that maybe Nick is making here in these playoffs.
And just to give you a perspective out there, folks, Nick Cohan's running 31.5 to 32.5 at the leader. That's only a second. And right now, to show you his time difference between the leader, he's 25 seconds back. We only have 14 laps to go.
He wouldn't even make it.
No, wouldn't even make it. Not even get close to him. He needs to knock off 2 seconds or more a lap at this point. The problem is just doesn't have the tires by being out there with 15-lap-old tires. Now, a caution at this point, that might mix it up. The problem is he's going to have to make a pit stop, too. There's no way he would ever stay out.
I couldn't imagine him staying out if there was a pit stop, if there was a yellow right now. I could not imagine him staying out on those tires. They're, even 15, 20-lap-old tires. You're going to get wicked tire spin coming off the on the restart, and he would be a sitting duck. So right now he just has to salvage what he can get, and this is basically Trey's to lose.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you what, it's been a good one so far, but let's not take away from the man that's in second. All smiles. That's right, Scott Simley. I call him Scott Smiley. And he is smiling. Put it on pole. He's in second right now. He's 1.7 seconds behind Trey Edson. Now, he has enough time to run the leader down if he can get up there. He is not quite as fast. They traded off here and there, so he's not really making up a lot of ground. But, man, what a race for him so far.
Yeah, and going back to, we talked about him earlier, guys like Steve Gottschalk, man, he's in 7th place here, man. I mean, he's probably going to be able to wrap this top 10 up here. Rick Thompson, we haven't talked about him all night. I call him Mr. Blue Eyes. I know Rick from a few other leagues that I've raced with. Rick's retired Air Force. Really, really good guy. And he's getting a good run tonight. Started 28th, and right now he's in the top 10 in 8th position. So, Mr. Old Blue Eyes, as I call him, he's having a great run tonight.
And E.J. O'Rourke, another one. Bouncing back up in the 6th. He's right there in the 18th. He started 18th. Like you said, he's right there right in front of Steve Gottschalk, who started 21st. So a couple guys up here, doing good. Again, Shane Ewing right here. But now he's got Nick Cohan. We said Nick would get that top 10. He's working on 9th. He's got 9th. And he actually probably can get a little bit more as he's going to work on the back end of Rick Thompson here and maybe take 7. So he's not going to lose an astronomical amount here. Obviously not going to win the race like he wanted, but he might not lose too much ground. The biggest loser Anthony DeBarro.
Yes, definitely. The biggest loser tonight as far as the chase points, it's Anthony DeBarro. Yeah, Nick Cohan, I mean, maybe we, maybe I was a little too critical. Maybe he's definitely going to pull off a decent finish here tonight. Not a win, but salvage something.
Started 8th, currently 8th.
Yeah.
So, not really losing anything at this point.
Definitely.
And anything he can get pulled up there. Yeah, I hate the fact on Anthony DeBarro. Boy, I tell you what, I just got to look.
He's back in 25th, a lap down.
Yeah, I'm not sure because my pit thing showing he had a 2-second pit stop. But folks, did he just take fuel and no tires?
I'm not really sure. I didn't see his pit stop. I wasn't paying attention to his pit stop. I was too busy paying attention to Nick and
that don't
Chad
make no
show.
sense. Huh.
He might have had a penalty. No, I don't know if he got a penalty.
Well, yeah, I don't know why it's showing 2 seconds, but folks, if he had a 4-second tire stop in 2 seconds, I want that pit crew.
Lightning.
Wow.
Lightning pit crew.
Absolutely. Well, he can work over Nelson Rivera here and get that 23rd spot, and he does. But, man, I tell you, after, leading 86 laps of the race, started second, back at 23rd, chase contender here coming in. Man, got the max bonus points, but, boy, he's going to give up a lot here on the track. Nick Cohan bouncing back to what could have been in a disaster-style race. Trey Edson still out front in this one. As laps are winding down here. We're getting close. We're less than 10 to go.
Yeah, less than 10 to go. Trey still out front. Scott Simley second. Chad Cole, Mr. Consistency, who's been Mr. Aggressive tonight, is in third. Mike Kelly just took over the 4th spot from Chad Coleman. So, we're wrapping it up here. Nick Cohan, he's in the 8th place. He's got to try to get past Steve Gottschalk, who's got quite a bit of ways in front of him. So, you see if he'll be able to pick off that last spot before the checkered flag waves.
Yeah, I'm trying to look. He's a little bit quicker than Scott Simley, just not quite that fast. And actually, now they just kind of even out that lap. So I just don't think Chad Cole's going to be able to run down the second place man. It's going to be, can Mike Kelly run down Chad Cole? Because actually Mike Kelly's on a lot better tires. I mean, and he's got enough time, so Chad Cole could fall back into the clutches at number 2.
Might lose that top 3 position, might lose that podium spot. So, yeah, Chad's got to push on the heat there a little bit. He's got only a few laps left, but he might lose that spot to Kelly.
And at this point, I mean, Chad's been out there for 51 laps. Mike Kelly's been out for 29 on his tires, so there's a big, huge difference between there. Even if Mike Kelly gets to his back bumper, Chad's probably just going to be like, look, at this point now, you got to think about, we only got about 5-4 to go. Caution comes out at this point, it is over. I got to get max points, and even if that means finishing in 4th.
Definitely. But Chad Cole's got a lap car there with him, so I mean, you got to catch a guy. Doesn't mean you can pass him.
Yeah, I'd still rather have them new tires.
I would too.
Well, Mike Kelly is right there on his back bumper. I think it's just going to be a matter of time before he takes that high lane and takes that spot. And I don't think Chad's going to fight him too much here because he understands the position he is, and he doesn't. He just says, all right, go ahead. He knows that he's a lot faster. At this point, it would probably be just not beneficial for Chad, too. I mean, he would love to stay in 3rd. Any racer would. But, again, he's going to do what brought him to the game. And that's play the consistency mark. And as I said that, he done. Yeah. Well, never mind.
He's sticking his nose down there, but I don't think he's quite got anything for Mike Kelly. We only got a couple laps left here, and I mean, there's just too much difference between the tires there with Mike Kelly and Chad Cole. It's a great effort by Chad Cole to try to keep that 3rd place position, though.
There you go. Bubble said many helped old Scott get it up there on pole, and he did. And actually, Scott Simley is having a tremendous run.
He's having a great run.
And 2nd place, I've called him Scott Smiley from the beginning on, and boy, he is definitely smiling up a cool breeze here tonight.
Yeah, he's going to be very happy with this run. Got it on the pole, finishing runner-up. He'd like to get that win, but he's definitely coming out here with a great finish tonight.
And Trey Edson, he is out front. Tremendous pit strategy here. Scott Simley, a good pit strategy there. Mike Kelly, final lap. One more time here. Race 1 of the chase here, we're about to put in the books here at Las Vegas for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. As a matter, I tell you what, Trey Etzen bringing it down the backstretch for the final time. He's probably not even going to worry about the lap car. He's got a big, huge lead coming out of turn 4. Last time, Trey Etzen's going to win it here tonight. Scott Simley's going to hold up in the second. Mike Kelly is going to come out of here in third here. Chad Cole, he's going to pull up on 4. Chad Coleman right there in 5th. And I tell you, let's look. Nick Cohan's going to end up in the 8th place spot. Coming out of this one, not a bad return there after a bit marred back in traffic.
Would you have ever guessed that the highest playoff chase driver to finish would have been Scott Simley? I would have figured it would have been Chad Cole or Nick Cohan, but Scott Simley, with his 2nd place finish, he's the highest finishing chase driver in this race, and Trey Etzen gets the win.
Love it. Gotta love it. I mean, really. You know, these guys, man, they come out here, they put the heart and soul into this, and this is the start of the chase here, folks. I've said it many times. It's going to be interesting once these guys here, but Mike Kelly coming home in 3rd place. Scott Simley right there in 2nd. And congratulations to Trey Etzen putting it in victory lane here tonight. Let's bring them up here and these guys and get a word in with them, because I know we're going to have some happy drivers here.
Definitely, definitely.
Trying to find a lot of them out here. Let's see.
Let me see if I can give you a hand where they are.
I got
Mike Kelly, Turn 1 Heroes. He's down there with Nelson Rivera and Scott Simley. They're both in the same room.
Oh, okay.
Right underneath Stillhorse.
Got Skies. Here we go. So we're looking for
Mike Kelly should be right there too.
Oh, Mike Kelly in the same one? Yep,
yeah.
Sure is. So they're teammates. All right, good deal.
Yep.
So 2 teammates up front. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's bring up this 3rd place man here. Happy camper here, Mike Kelly, pulling up a good run here tonight. Let's get a word in with him.
I got a 3rd place finisher here up in the booth with us, Mr. Mike Kelly. Started 24th on the grid. He powered all the way up for a podium finish in 3rd place. How you feeling about your run tonight, Mr. Kelly?
Well, it's mixed emotions, obviously. Had the winning car, but Scott, my teammate, great run for him. 2nd, great run for Trey. I guess I was the winner of everybody who did the 2-stop strategy. Scott and I were discussing doing it, and he decided to do it, and I said good luck. So that's the way it worked out. But good run, great start to the chase, so I'm happy but disappointed to have a car that could have won it and not come away with it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a hard-fought race tonight. Car seemed like it was really hard to drive later on in the run. Like, the tires really worn. Looked like a lot of you guys were really trying to hold on to it there.
Yeah, it was slick. I mean, just typical of what it's been all week racing here in the different Sim500 divisions. And this is the 3rd race in a row. And for some reason, my setup, this type of track, once 2 good grooves get defined, I'm really good on the bottom. So I just glue that baby to the white line, and there's not a lot of traffic down there. So I've been able to do a lot of passing and get up to the front. A lot of fun.
So you got anybody you want to thank tonight? Anybody that might be watching, friends, families? I know you got teammates out there you've already mentioned, but anybody else you want to mention?
Yeah, shout out to our other teammate, Nelson. He had a good car as well and had a little bit of rough luck, but good finish for the team, 2nd and 3rd, and not sure what Nelson got, but we're all running strong for the chase. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting the races. Thanks to everyone at Sim500 for sure. This series, all the series, I mean, we've ran 3 races at Vegas, and only I think 3 or 4 cautions for all that racing. So great group of racers right now. Everyone's racing great, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's good to hear it. That's your 3rd place finisher there, Mike Kelly.
Yeah, Mike Kelly coming out of here tonight, 3rd place. Awesome run for him. Well, let's see if we can't run down the man who I say is all smiles, and he should be here tonight, Scott Simley.
We got Mr. Scott Simley here in the booth. Started on the pole, got runner-up, but he's definitely out of the chase drivers. He was the highest finishing chase driver, so that should make him feel pretty good. How you feel about your run tonight, Mr. Simley?
Yeah, we had a fast car right away, which is good. It always helps start out front. You know, after that last caution before it went green, I was thinking it was going to be really close on fuel. Just, you know, ran an even pace and hoping that I could have enough at the end, but I was cutting it, saving back and forth, and wasn't sure if that was the right call either, because, you know, so much faster on fresher tires. But I thought, well, even if the caution comes out, I might be in good shape. So
yeah, your teammate Mike Kelly was telling us about the fuel strategy there, but you guys talking prior before the race, you know, 2 tire stop, one stop pit stop, 2 pit stops for this race, and yeah, some guys came a little short there. You think you could have? Would you have done anything different? Would you have changed your pit stop strategy there, you think?
no, I don't think so. I mean, that's what we went with. It was looking like we were going to make it, but it was going to be close, and I just thought, well, you know, cautions can bite you too. But I mean, that can work either way. It's so hard to say. So it's a good finish. I mean, we'll take it. It's a tough group out here, a lot of fast guys, so helps us start out front. I know that's huge. So I've been struggling in qualifying, so I'm going to try to work on that, and hopefully we'll take this momentum and go forward with it.
Definitely. You got anybody you want to thank out there? Any other teammates, maybe friends, family, or sponsors?
Yeah, friends and family, if they're out there watching. Turn On Heroes. You guys, of course, up in the booth, doing a good job. Transervice for putting this series on, and Joey and all the admins. It takes a lot of work to put this together, and just thank them for all the hard work they do to make this all work out too.
Well, thank you very much, and that's your second place finisher there, Mr. Scott Simley.
That's it. Scott Simley pulling it in second place here tonight. Good finish. This guy right here, well, you don't need too much introduction here. He came out here and won it here tonight. Trey Edson putting it in victory lane. Trey Edson, Joe White in the booth. You got a copy?
Sure do.
Well, Trey, that number 10 machine was on rails. How did it feel after 50-something laps of running on those tires?
I felt like we were on ice, so I didn't know Vegas got ice out west, but it was slippery, man. You would go super easy, and you're treating the throttle like there's an egg under it, and it would still jump sideways on you off of 2 and off of 4. So it's a fixed setup leak. So I guess Joey wanted to make it hard on us tonight. Well,
you know, but he came out of here, and we've seen some good races out of it being, you know, like you said, hard. Sometimes it calms some of the drivers down, makes some easy, makes some hard. But tell us, putting yourself in that position, how was your pit strategy? It looked like a lot of guys had different strategies out there. You held to your guns on the looks like one-stop strategy. Did you think that was going to pay off?
I didn't really know where it was going to fall, because I know we had the one caution, and we just kind of, I get caught up in driving, and I don't even really think about fuel mileage. And I saw, I think it was Nick pitted pretty early, so I was like, okay, well, maybe his tires are just worn out. And then Anthony and Chad, myself, Mike, there was a few others that we just kept running, and started trying to do the math part of it. That's kind of hard to do, and I was like, I'm just gonna split it. And Fuller, my teammate, he had wrecked out, so he was sitting there telling me, I think you can run 55 or it's something like that. He's like, it's gonna be super close. So I was like, well, I'm gonna run this bone dry, and then we'll just what I did is I just picked a pace. I didn't go hard when I came out on fresh tires. I just kind of picked a pace, stuck to the bottom, shortest way around the track, used the least amount of gas, just did my thing the whole run, and it worked out. I think we had about 0.4 of a gallon left when we crossed the line.
Well, it worked out well. Put you in victory lane here for the first race of the chase tonight here at Las Vegas for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think it showed up in the broadcast. I don't know if there was a trade and paints issue or what.
Before you say that, I worked with a couple of guys before the race. I worked with several drivers, and we actually got some of them figured out. Check with Dan Denayer. That is one of them I worked with, who actually got his paint jobs to show up, and he can explain to you what we talked about, because I know what you're going to say. Yes, you're in a black car.
I think I know what the issue was, and it's probably on. I'm not blaming you. It's probably on my end. there's a layer when you're painting the new Camaro that makes cars not show up. It's an alpha layer, so I don't know what all that means, but it's something in the template that you have to delete and then re-upload it. So I'm sure if you I've already fixed that because my sponsor let me know, hey, this didn't show up. So so it'll show up next week. But yeah, I gotta thank Kick-Ass Beef Jerky. They jumped on board 3 days ago. So I know you've seen them in the league before, but it's an honor to actually have a sponsor, someone willing to that thinks enough of you to put their branding on your ride. So I couldn't have asked to start that partnership out any better. So thanks them. Kickassbeefjerky.com. Get your order placed. It's tasty stuff. So next week, I hope you could see it though. So
yeah. Well, and I'll tell you what Dan did, and again, I'm no painter, and just real quick, don't want to get off subject too much, but I'm no painter, I'm no expert on it, but I know that there's a 32-bit and a 24-bit, and if it's saved in 24-bit, it shows up beautifully. If it's saved in 32, it doesn't, and that's why we were down there before the race, and we got his to show up and all. But again, man, you're right, Kick-Ass Beef Jerky coming on board. You know, actually, that stuff is pretty good, like you said. I hate it. I wanna show off y'all's wonderful paint jobs out here. So hopefully, man, we'll get it all. Maybe I'll get up with you, like I told them, after, you know, before the race next week. We'll get the thing solved. But hey, doesn't, man, take to the fact that you put it in victory lane and it looked good out there doing it. As always, at tonight's winner, Trey Edson here at Las Vegas, first race of the chase.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. I'll see you Wednesday.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, right there you go. You have at it. Let's get our unofficial results order as Trey Edson puts it in victory lane here tonight. Scott Simley there in second. Mike Kelly third. Chad Cole in fourth. Chad Coleman sitting in fifth. E.J. O'Rourke sixth. Steve Gottschalk there in seventh. Nick Cohan eighth. Jose Gonzalez rounds to ninth. And Tommy Rhines up in the 10th place spot. Look through the rest of the field. Well, the biggest guy that we're going to most notably know is Anthony DeBarro. Boy, he lost a lot. Come back in 22nd, but still, wow, dominated most of this race.
Yeah, it's definitely going to hurt him in those Chase playoff standings. But, you know, Trey, great run for him. Mike Kelly, those other guys up there, the top three. Great race for those guys.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, first race of the chase is in the bag here. And as they always say, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. And we're going to leave it here on the Vegas track tonight as Trey Edson puts it in victory lane here for the Sim500 Monday Night Money Series presented by Transervice. Las Vegas, well, we're out of here. Myself and everybody here at Sim500 and myself and Don. Everyone, have a good night.